It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and today's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Los Angeles Rams, and it's all up next.
We are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Los Angeles Rams. Gordon, welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. With me as always, Charles Davis. And Charles, we look at a matchup like this. It's really the running backs that may take center stage here today.
And in today's football, they're still valuable, not just as runners, but guys who can catch the ball as well. It's really the number of touches that determines things these days.
And we are underway from SoFi Stadium. Gunnar Olszewski bringing it out. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So the Steelers offense getting set for their first drive. And they will be led out by a guy certainly still trying to prove himself here in the league, the young rookie quarterback.
For every rookie prospect, there are always nerves involved in this moment. Running your team out to start a game. But there's a reason they brought him in. We're willing to make him their starter today. They believe he can overcome those nerves and lead his team to a victory. We saw him do it at the collegiate level and really make himself into a leader and someone you can envision doing the exact same thing here in the NFL.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Throwing first play is Pickett. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
And that's football 101, isn't it? Tip your cap to the rookie. He knocked that one away, but he better not relax. They're going to test him all game long.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Harris running straight ahead, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense, I think, in the future. If you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
Let's do our thing. Let's do our thing.
3 and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12. On the draw, it's Harris. And he's going to be marked down short of the first down. Needed the 40, but he's a yard or two shy. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves him just short for 4th down. They had quite a hole to dig out of there on 3rd and long. Not able to get the first, but a pretty good-sized run.
A really good run, but how much confidence do you have in your next play call that you can sell to the head coach? Let's go get it on 4th down. Do you really have a play you believe in, or are you just hopeful? And you got to sell it to the big man before it gets called.
On 4th down, punt coming from Braden Mann. On that punt, we've got a man shaken up. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Stafford and the Rams come up 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. Back to throw. Stafford. Over the middle. That's hauled in by Kupp. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards. And we see the emphasis early here. Get your star receiver involved. Able to do it successfully.
Not a bad start to begin with, that's for sure. And to me, this play says our guy is better than your guy's. Because, you know, a player of his stature, he won't just be single covered all game long. It's going to involve multiple people. And right away, they told the other team, guess what? He's just better.
Meanwhile, Stafford's throw, it's complete into the hands of Higbee. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. That's a 12-yard gain now on back-to-back plays.
I like how they worked the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Now the first carry for Cam Akers. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Play 3 of the drive not as successful. They go backwards after those 2 1st down gains.
When you're lateral to the line of scrimmage, linebackers keep those shoulders square so they can go up and down. But when it's time to go, turn your shoulders just like a running back. Get through the line and hit the runner in the backfield.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. They'll go again here with Akers. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. And Pittsburgh with 6 defensive backs in the game here on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Stafford. Looking underneath, he's got Akers. And this won't be enough. A good secure tackle, and they stop him a few yards shy at the 46. Their opening drive here is going to result in a punt. They got 7 yards there, but not enough.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the 1st down. Now to be 4th and short.
On 4th down, Dom Maggio out to punt. And back deep, Gunnar Olszewski. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their 2nd offensive possession. And the last drive, their 1st drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
On 1st and 10, it's Pickett. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. They went 3 and out on their first drive. Things already looking better here, 1st and 10.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
To the air on 1st down with Pickett. That's swung out wide to Harris. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. A run with Harris out of the shotgun. And he'll get it down here to the 43. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down. Keep the sticks moving.
1st down, and they go back to Harris. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field when his number is called. The way he's running it, I'd keep going back to him.
On 2nd down, this is Harris. They find some open field here. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That burst good for 20 and a 1st down. A much different second drive here, Charles. They go 3 and out the first time. This time they've been able to sustain something downfield.
And that's what often happens. You get the game started. You know, you have to get your footing underneath you. You have to get used to the flow of the game, the speed of the game. And sometimes that first drive is more of a probing drive. It appears they found something here in the second one.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Completing it to the right side, Johnson. And in for the Steelers touchdown. Kenny Pickett connecting with Deontay Johnson. And the Steelers are on the board first on the road here in L.A. Those are the touchdowns that aren't just scored on Sundays or on Monday night. Those are the ones that are scored during the week because they had that preparation and a great route run.
Oh, I love that observation because you don't just roll out on game day and say, okay, go run this route and let's get it done. That means exactly what you said. The practice had to occur beforehand, which led to the timing, which led to the touchdown.
Boswell good with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. That time a 6-play drive. And in the end, it was Deontay Johnson's touchdown catch to cap the drive. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. So the Rams coming back onto the field, their second drive of the game. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Stafford. He'll get this one to Cup, complete. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Stafford going to give this to Akers. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Sometimes that's the danger of putting that jumbo set out there. You just get a lot of bodies massed in one location. You could wind up with 18, 20, maybe even all 22 in the box, and there's nowhere to run the football.
On 2nd and 11 now. Stafford. Pass caught. It's been Skoranek. A gain of 8 there on the play. And now it's 3rd and 3.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. They'll try and run for this with Akers. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
4th and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
On your own side of the field.
Side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
You're gritty today. I like it.
I'm feeling it.
Dom Maggio is sent on now to punt it away. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. The Steelers ready for their next possession. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. First and 10, here's Pickett. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete. George Pickens, his intended receiver there. And now it's 2nd down.
That was well defended. They clamped down on every available receiver. Just got to give the win to the defense on that snap.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Pickett back to throw. No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down. Now Pickett. Eluding the pressure right. And that is incomplete.
That is certainly one way to frustrate a quarterback. Run those extra defenders on the field. Dime package, lots of speed, no space to fit in the football.
Here's Braden Mann now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. A 40-yard punt, 1 yard on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The offense for Los Angeles returns to the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit,
Everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
On first down, they'll start out with Akers. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
Nice satisfying run on first down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
Second down, they'll go with Akers again. 7 yards there and a first down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
Get him going, baby.
Stafford on first down. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, how about the challenge we're seeing here in this game early? Man coverage against some fleet receivers. That time, the defense won.
So second down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. A give up the middle to Akers. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Throwing on third down, Stafford. Man open, it's Kupp. He's got it. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 28. That gain on third down, good for 28.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's first and 10 as they've got it to the 28-yard line. They'll go with Akers here up the middle. T.J. Watt in on the tackle.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
On second and 9, Stafford. Incomplete.
Good coverage on the outside, and I think that's where he wanted to check that down to. But once he saw the danger over there, he just threw that one over everyone's head. Smart play.
Now play number 8 on this drive, and they need 9 yards to pick up the first on third. Stafford. And that will be incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
So out comes Justin Rohrwasser in the field goal unit. And this will be a 45-yard attempt. Rohrwasser's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So that kick gives them their first points of the game, CD. And it comes on the third drive, but hopefully for them that's a spark that gets that offense going.
Yeah, and I would say if you're the offensive play caller, as you look at your sheet, you're trying to find that part on there that unlocks bigger points. They've struggled with a few drives so far, finally got 3 out of it. How do you find the end zone? That's what he's searching for now.
Rohrwasser made the field goal. Now he handles the kickoff duties. This taken in at the goal line. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. Now the Steelers offense gets ready to get back onto the field. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Pickett leads the Steelers up here with a fresh set of downs at their own 21. Pickett to throw on first down. Quick completion here to Johnson. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. So the penalty rightfully declined. They'll keep the yardage on the completion.
Still some disagreement by the defense, though, because he thought that was just good, strong coverage, and the contact's going both ways, so why is there a flag? In the end, though, doesn't matter. Still a completed pass.
From the gun, here's Pickett. Open man downfield is Johnson. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
There's the arm strength that we saw in college and during the scouting process. And really, it's not just the arm strength there, but the placement as well. To me, that was an excellent combination of arm talent and accuracy.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. They hand this off to Harris. Down to about the 32. And on the tackle, it was Rush East.
They can't beat us, Fred. Let's go, baby.
After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Steeler football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got it 2nd and 7. Here's Pickett. It's brought in by Harris. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. So 3rd down, and defensively the Rams have added 2 extra DBs. Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th.
Just a simple run play there on 3rd and 1, but this D was up to the challenge and stopped them, bringing up 4th down.
So Pickett is off to the sideline, and Chris Boswell is on for the Steeler field goal try. And this will be a 45-yard attempt. Boswell's kick is good, and they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So a nice kick there as they add 3 to the lead.
And from what I've seen so far, Brandon, I think they've been the better of the 2 teams here in the first half. So even though you want the touchdown, I think that's a nice job there to put 3 points on the board.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. Fields it right around the goal line. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. L.A. readies for its next possession. Just a lone field goal for him so far, trailing 10-3 as they come up 1st and 10. Stafford. Open man, Higbee, the tight end. So the completion good for 7 there, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point that continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
The throw down the field, caught by his running back. And they're going to get this up to midfield.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game? That's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he picks up a 1st down.
Off the fake to Akers, here's Stafford. He'll get this into the hands of Van Jefferson. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far, and never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. They'll run on 1st down with Akers. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Alex Highsmith there on the tackle.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good 1st down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on 1st down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. From the gun, here's Stafford. And he'll just get rid of it.
Different pass rushes are designed for different things. Sometimes you want to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Sometimes you want him to flush. I don't know exactly how this one was designed, but they made sure they moved him to his right. He got out of the pocket. Unfortunately for him, he was hit as he tried to throw the ball, and that resulted in an incompletion.
From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. That's big Cameron Hayward adding another sack to his career total. I thought there at the end he may have had a chance to release that, but that pocket closed a little too quickly, and down he went.
Yeah, he was certainly trying to do everything he could to extend the life of the play, probably counting in his head 1, 2, and then he ran out of time.
So out comes Justin Rohrwasser in the field goal unit. He made his first attempt, this from 45. Rohrwasser's kick is good, and that'll bring him back within 4. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Wasser made the field goal. Now he handles the kickoff duties. Olszewski now from his end zone. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Pickett's throw pulled in by Robinson here. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. On the give, this is Harris. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
On 2nd and 9, Pickett. That's caught by the 6'8" tight end, Zach Gentry. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. His first catch, good for 14 there and a first down.
Well, it certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards, 2nd down.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Pass complete. George Pickens with it. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Rams' 37. 13 yards as the quick slant keeps the drive moving.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
On 1st and 10, it's Pickett. Looking sideline, and he's going to have his man as he was able to walk the tightrope there for the completion.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ikey's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd run to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
To throw again on 2nd down. Pickett. Got an open man. It's Pickens. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Rams' 19. 14 yards that time for number 14. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. They'll run. Here's Harris. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
On 2nd and 9, Pickett. That's complete to his tight end flyer move. And the Steelers are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
On the ground, it's Harris. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great, because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush your passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. They'll run again with Harris. And he is going to be smothered in the backfield again as he ran into a wall there. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
We all know how much running backs love getting the ball down near the goal line. They think they're going to find a way into the end zone. He hasn't had that kind of luck so far. Ends up not getting in on the last 2 carries. You know he's going to be upset about a missed opportunity.
And now can they reverse the trend on 3rd and goal with the last 2 plays having gone backwards? Back to throw, Pickett. Flush to his right. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete. The LA defense up the snuff in coverage there. Pushes this to 4th down. Well, so a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while. But when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, that's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get 6s instead of 3s.
Boswell's kick is good, and that'll open the lead up to a touchdown now at 13-6. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Rams ready to go on offense. A touchdown would tie it. They trail 13-6 as they come up with a 1st and 10. Throwing is Stafford. That's out to the flat for Akers. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards. Only needing 2 yards on second down. Back to throw, Stafford. The hook up on the right side to Hopkins. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
It's a gain of 15, and the Rams have a first down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
It's no time, baby. Bring it.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. On first down, Stafford here. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Cameron Hayward, that is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
Well, he was really focused downfield, but there was really no viable options. The coverage was too good.
And the defense really quickened the tempo of that play with their pass rush, because there was nowhere for him to go with the football. The only place he ended up, down on the ground.
Stafford hooking up with Akers. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down. Now Stafford. And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on third down, forcing the errant pass. Fourth down coming up.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on third down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
Here's Dom Maggio now. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. The Steelers taking over now late in this first half. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
First and 10, here's Pickett. His throw incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely, just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. So after the incompletion on first, now second and 10. On the delay, here's Harris. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. The Rams calling on their nickel set here defensively for third down. Now here's another carry for Harris. And he'll lose yardage on this one, back to the 13. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number one.
Out now is the punter, Braden Mann. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. A shotgun snap for Stafford. He'll dump this off to Akers. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their second, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. Throwing again on 2nd down. Stafford. And his throw here's incomplete. Van Jefferson was the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and short.
Oh, they'll certainly be on the tablets going over that one for sure. Clearly, they were expecting something else out of the defense and couldn't adjust to make that completion happen.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Stafford now to throw. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
Here comes the Rams punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Calls for the fair catch, makes the fair catch just inside the 15-yard line. 36 yards on the punt with no return. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. A little over 20 seconds remaining in the half as they'll line up here 1st and 10. Pickett now on 1st down. He's got his tight end Freiermuth over the middle. And from the 15, they're able to work this up to the 20 for a pickup of a handful. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Back to you guys in a bit. But first, we welcome everyone to our EA Sports Halftime Report. First up, though, let's take a look at the next-gen stats from the first half for the Steelers. And even though they've got the lead, they're likely going over ways they can improve the running game, as they didn't find a whole lot of success in those first 2 quarters. Meanwhile, for the Rams, there's a look at what they were able to do throwing the football, and they'll need to get things in gear as they trail here at the break.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Rams set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail here as we resume play. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Rams offense ready to begin quarter number 3.
This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete, and they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
From the 27, Stafford throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
I didn't like the look of that play right from the beginning. I thought he should have seen the coverage that was there, tried to force it in. That one, he's fortunate, just fell incomplete.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. To throw is Stafford.
He'll check this down to Akers out of the backfield.
And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down, they just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
Here comes the Rams punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10.
Pickett leads the Steelers up here with a fresh set of downs.
At their own 23.
Pickett to throw on 1st down.
There's Robinson showing the flash. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule.
Now a give, running left is Harris.
Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the 1st here. 3rd and 2, Pickett.
And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a 1st down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up 4th.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
The Steelers send out their punter now, as he's on to kick it away. 42 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now the Rams offense, they work their way back on the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Flushed out right. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
Now a play fake it at Stafford. Being chased out left. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Stafford. And now another one thrown incomplete.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the 3rd quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
Here comes the Rams punter now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. $39 yards on the punt, give him just 1 yard on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
And the Steelers set to take the field. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments.
Now Pickett.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
George Pickens the intended target,
but it's going to be 2nd down.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32.
Pickett will look to throw it here.
Toward the sideline, and that is a nice catch as he's able to tiptoe his way out of bounds. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. And a movement there coming from the middle of the line.
And you understand he wants to get off the ball quickly, but the ball's right in front of him. He has to watch it move first.
Pickett now to throw off the play fake.
And the throw there going to be incomplete. They sure went against conventional wisdom, calling a pass on 3rd and inches.
Had to be thinking to themselves, the defense is going to overcommit against the run. Should be an easy pitch and catch. Didn't turn out that way.
The Steelers send out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession.
And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
Stafford and the Rams come up 1st and 10.
At their own 16. Play action. Stafford. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Basically, you're not going to outwork 2 guys very often.
Double coverage. I thought he was going to go somewhere else with the football. I get it. That's a stud wide receiver. You want to try to get him the football.
Yeah, sometimes you rely on him a bit too much. You forget the other options that are out there.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. From the gun, here's Stafford. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just one more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
Throwing on third down, Stafford. Buying time to his left. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Sometimes the game is pretty simple. Put a few extra defensive backs on the field, give them nowhere to throw the football, force the incompletion, and get off the field on third down.
Here comes the Rams punter now, standing just outside his own goal line. Olszewski now to return. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively, just not able to get anything going. So what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Eight yards to go on second down. Pickett back to throw.
Completing it to the right side, Johnson.
And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Harris running straight ahead, and he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards, second down.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. This is Harris on the draw, and he stopped immediately there. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. It's rare that a man his size can't at least push forward for a yard, but they stopped him there for nothing.
You're talking about Tiny? You talking about the little guy back there? That monster. Yeah, you're exactly right. And it takes a group effort to get a guy like that down and not let him find some space. The first guy in, he's got to take one for the team, right? Because he's just waiting there and holding on for everyone else to help him out.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
So Pickett is off to the sideline, and Chris Boswell is on for the Steeler field goal try.
This one from 48 yards away. Boswell's kick is good, and that one makes this a 10-point game at 16-6.
So the lead grows here incrementally, but I think the way their defense is playing, you feel okay with just getting 3.
They've definitely been stout so far, but now that could all change because if one guy gets loose for 70 yards, this is a different game. But as it stands, field goals are good. Just keep adding to that lead.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away.
Taking it about the 1. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter
run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Now he's going to swing this. Akers hit. He coughs it up. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And some space here. And they will finally run him down, but not until he brings this one all the way back down inside the 10-yard line. He has been a workhorse for them in this game, and ball security hasn't been an issue until that point.
Yeah, and let's face it, when he's going to carry the ball that many times, he becomes more and more of a target for the defense, knowing that he's going to be the primary guy. They'll just send more and more players towards him, trying to make sure they knock the ball free.
The defense gets him the ball via the turnover. Now can this offense cash in? 1st and goal. They run with Harris. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Harris. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. 48 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Harris is into the end zone for a Steeler touchdown. Able to punch it in on 3rd down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a 4th down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating, will we have to make the call? They already had it lined up, never even got to it.
Extra point now by Boswell. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it was Najee Harris who finished it off with a touchdown run. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. And the LA offense ready for this next possession. Well, right now, they're in a bit of a tough spot here, CD. You trail them by double digits. Remember the last time out, they fumbled. They're going to have to play some clean football here on this possession.
And all the talk on their sideline has been about taking care of the football, making sure that they're handling the ball correctly. So you know they'll be squeezing the rock pretty tight here. They just have to be careful not to go so hard in doing that they actually cause themselves other problems. Take care of the ball, but still try and play free and natural.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now Stafford.
To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. It'll be a gain of just a yard, and that brings up third and a full 10 yards. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
As soon as he leaked out and began his route, someone on the defensive side broke with him and arrived just in time to separate him from another reception.
Here comes the Rams punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. The Steelers ready to take over on offense. The football changing hands here, and as this offense takes the field, Charles, they'd be fine with more of the same on this upcoming drive. Last time out, they found the end zone for 6.
And they're certainly hoping for more of the same, but the game plan, I doubt it'll just be a carbon copy of the last drive because I think this offense is ready to break out some new wrinkles and try some new things that might be hidden in their playbook. They want to use that confidence to its advantage while also keeping the defense from anticipating what's up next.
And the Rams got him. They bring him down. The perennial Pro Bowler Aaron Donald gets the sack.
He was still looking through his progressions and going through his receiver options, and while he was doing that, the defense got to him quickly in the pocket.
And it was a great example of zone coverage, well executed, well coordinated. All the receivers were covered, and he couldn't evade the rush back in the pocket.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. A run with Harris out of the shotgun. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down.
He's going to float this one deep right side. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
One thing that offensive guys stress when they throw the deep ball, you're just counting on your receiver to find it, adjust before the defensive back can get his head around. In this case, though, the DB matched it move for move and knocked it away.
The Steelers send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. They call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. So now here are the Rams as their offense comes back out.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
But plain and simple, that's the second time today that he's dropped a pass.
And that one, I think, maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped. Surprising.
Was this game announced as a night game prior to, and maybe his rhythm is just off? He's got thrown off. He's going to have to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
Stafford's throw pulled in by Jefferson.
And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A big play on the catch and run, covering 34 yards. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well and get a few stops.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
Stafford going to give this to Akers.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
On 2nd and 9, Stafford eluding the pressure right. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's Stafford. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. And that will close the gap down to 14.
So that maybe not exactly what they were hoping for, but it does get them back within a couple of scores.
And at this point in the 3rd quarter, you don't have much margin for error, and that means you can't have drives that end with nothing. Whether it's a punt, a turnover on downs, those have to go away. You have to end with a kick, either a field goal or an extra point after a touchdown.
Rohrwasser made the field goal. Now he handles the kickoff duties. Olszewski now from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field.
Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Pickett leads the Steelers up here with a fresh set of downs.
At their own 20-yard line. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Pickett. That's complete to his tight end, Freiermuth.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40.
Pickett to his tight end, Freiermuth, for the Steeler first.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
On 1st and 10, it's Pickett. And here's Freiermuth again.
Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
I don't care what sport you're playing. Everyone likes to build up a little momentum, don't they? And look at this, back-to-back completions to the big target at tight end.
That one not as profitable as the other, but still a decent gain.
Pickett sets up play action.
And his throw is incomplete.
But they certainly did a nice job there, picking him up out of the backfield and then running stride for stride with him. That's good coverage, and it led to an incompletion.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6.
pick it right back to the air again.
And that is incomplete.
Nice call by the defense there on third down. Just flood the field with extra defensive backs in their dime package. Nowhere to go with the football. Forces the incompletion.
The Steelers send out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. And a fair catch called for and made at the 12-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Rams will be backed up deep to begin the drive as they take over 1st and 10.
Stafford and the Rams come up 1st and 10.
At their own 13.
He starts with a give to Akers.
And some room to work. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. That one good for 37 yards.
And that one heck of a run right there. Once he got loose, you could tell that he was going to run a long way. That was pretty impressive.
And there's an old chestnut of an expression called getting on your horse. And I hate to use it, but I'm going to right here because it absolutely applies. How about the head of steam he had behind him? And he was absolutely galloping downfield. That was something to see.
And according to Next Gen Stats, his top speed on that one, better than 20 miles an hour.
Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Rams trailing, but they do have the football as we start the 4th and final quarter. From the 50, Stafford. Well, that'll be caught by Cup.
And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Stafford.
Looking for Cooper Kupp again, 2 in a row.
And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Stafford
looking underneath. He's got Akers. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
Off of play action, here's Stafford. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Stafford looks to throw again.
Complete. Jefferson the target. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11.
Back to throw, Stafford.
He'll get this to Akers out of the backfield.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 2 yards on the pickup there, and that will bring up second down.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tap.
Touchdown, Rams!
Van Jefferson.
A 9-yard touchdown grab.
And the Rams have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth.
And that touchdown ends a streak, for lack of a better word, of 3 field goals that they put on the board previously. They finally cracked the code.
Yeah, they've been down there. They've been in enemy territory, as you said. They just haven't been able to punch it in until that point. Point after try forthcoming. And that'll cut the lead down now to a touchdown. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays.
And it was all capped off by the Van Jefferson touchdown reception. Following the touchdown, Rohrwasser handles the kickoff duties. Taken at the goal line. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field.
Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10.
Harris starts the drive on the ground. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
69 yards rushing now as he's done it on 22 carries.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation when they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They run again with Harris. And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the first down carry.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
From the 41, Pickett. Escaping the pressure, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss. Boy, Charles, that time he took a bad situation and made it worse.
Yeah, you're almost putting together a nice little song there, aren't you? Because it's something you'll see from young quarterbacks. They have that tendency to retreat backwards instead of stepping up in the pocket.
Pickett and the Steelers in need of a big play here. 3rd and long after the sack.
They're going to look to throw. He gets this one to Johnson.
And he'll go down to the ground at the 39, and obviously that's well short of the first.
They get 12 yards back, but it still leads to a 4th and long. I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
The Steelers send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10.
The offense for Los Angeles returns to the field, and it feels like the momentum has shifted. They scored, then their defense forces that last punt, and now a chance to tie the game on this possession. Stafford and the Rams come up 1st and 10.
At their own 17-yard line. Throwing is Stafford.
He'll dump this off to Akers.
Brings it up just shy of the 25. Showed some of that quickness there on the move. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I got the sense that the defense created a little momentum for them there, didn't they?
Did their job, forced the punt. Now, nice start to the drive. Offense has to do their part.
Yeah, they certainly do, but what a great start for them. They've got to go thank the guys on D.
They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. Out to his left. And he wisely will throw that one away.
Well, sometimes the defense just beats you. Great coverage from the secondary. All of them in the proper position. So instead of trying to throw into tight coverage, he found a way to throw it away and come back and try again the next down.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Now Stafford. Dancing to his left. And he'll just get rid of it. Here comes the Rams punter now as he's on to kick it away. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field.
Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead.
So good field position for the Steelers as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line.
1st and 10, here's Pickett. That's caught downfield by Pickens.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the 4th quarter.
So from Rams territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
They hand this off to Harris.
And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30.
80 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the 4th quarter, I mean, keep running it, right?
No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand. They're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal that'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball?
Steps away to his left.
And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, he certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3.
Pickett, he'll look to throw it.
And look at this. They get the turnover. They needed it. Oh, no, he lost the football. Well, do you want to unpack that one, or do you want me to?
You're the boss.
We get the interception, then really he's just too loose with the football on the return, and he coughs it right back up the other way.
I've seen this happen in an NFL game, and boy, did it cost someone. San Francisco at Atlanta a few seasons ago. Atlanta throws the interception. San Francisco runs it back. Game is salted away. Fumbles on the return. Atlanta gets it back. Drives down, kicks the game-winning field goal.
How about that? And a crazy situation we just saw there. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. They were looking for Johnson that time. That'll bring up second down.
That was a nice job defensively of disguising their coverage and making it difficult for the quarterback to lock in on a receiver, and it results in an incomplete pass.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Pickett now from the gun here.
He gets it left side to Johnson.
And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on 1st and 2nd downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Pickett now on first down.
His throw caught at about the 5.
And the Steelers are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. They run with Harris. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers.
Najee Harris.
His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Steelers have opened up a 2-touchdown lead here in this 4th quarter. Well, that's certainly going to bump up the old win probability index because now it's a 2-score game here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you're taking me into that deep water now. Win probability index. This game's definitely not over. We're not looking at a 0.5% or something. It's just 2 scores. But the way that this team has played, to me, what I've seen, they absolutely deserve to win this game. They've been the better team by far throughout.
Boswell for the extra point. And the lead is up to 14. Just a 4-play drive that time.
And it was Najee Harris who finished it off with a touchdown run.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback.
And the Rams getting set to go now.
Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10.
You make the play. It's one play at a time, baby.
Stafford and the Rams come up 1st and 10.
At their 25-yard line. Play action. Stafford. Open man is Higbee, the tight end. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You've got the first one for the second one to even matter.
To throw again on second down. Stafford.
Open man is Atwell, complete.
First target, first catch, and a first down. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Now a first down throw. Stafford. Open man. Higbee, the tight end. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now we're at the 41, 2nd and 9.
To the air again. Stafford. He'll get this one to Cup, complete. So the completion good for 6 yards. And now we've got a 3rd and 3. Defensively, they're okay with that. Short little route, tackle him inbounds. Okay.
All right, cliche alert. It's time for someone to make a play because they've got to have something bigger downfield. They can't just take what they give them. They've got to force it and make something big happen for them.
Stafford on 3rd down. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
Desperation time for Stafford on 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. No luck for the Rams as they fail here on 4th down. And the Steelers, they're going to take over an excellent field position. So now with a 2-minute warning coming up fast, that puts a mammoth dent in their comeback hopes.
I like how you phrased it. It's a dent because there's still opportunity. They've got to get the ball back on defense, obviously twice. But guess what? This thing is not close to being over. They need to go ahead and play it out.
Not over. As you said, 2-score game still. On the give, this is Harris. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning.
Again, it's Harris on 2nd down.
And some nice running, going to get him down close to a first down at the Rams 39. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. This is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here.
Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris.
And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd. They'll keep it on the ground. Harris again. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left.
And they'll work from the 29 on 2nd and 6. They'll run. Here's Harris. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. The Rams going to be forced to use their third and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. From the gun on 3rd down, Pickett. And the catch made by Johnson. And they're going to move it down inside the 25.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Boswell's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. And the Rams now coming out on the field. Well, probably not much that they can do at this point, CD. Down 3 scores late in the 4th quarter. This is going to be a little too much to overcome, you would think.
Yeah, they'll go down swinging, but in the end, I think we saw the writing on the wall a while back because one team was clearly better than the other in this one. And while it didn't quite reach blowout status, I think we knew who was going to win this one well before we got to this stage.
On 1st and 10, Stafford. And that is incomplete.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now it's Stafford. And he's got this to Jefferson. And oh, he coughed it up. And it's picked up by the Steelers. Oh, able to avoid him. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. And with the defense out of timeouts, powerless to stop the clock, this should just be a couple of kneel downs. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. And the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line.
They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Stafford looking right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hopefully they can come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a first down.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Stafford. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
On 4th down, Stafford. He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and that will force a turnover on downs. And the knee is taken for the Steelers out of the victory formation.
Well, partner, you and I were excited for this one today, and it certainly had its moments. Some good execution at times by both of these offenses. Defenses both made some plays as well, and always a joy to be up here in the booth next to you, my friend.
Yeah, it's a privilege to be up here in the booth next to you as well. Thanks for taking the time, and let's go ahead and get ready for our next one, right? I'll see you in the film room. Get that preparation started now.